SCP-055. Here's the fun thing about your life. Nobody knows what it's like, including you. Not because it's private, but because you are, by your very nature, completely and entirely unknowable. You are an anti-meme. Any information about what you actually are evaporates the second someone stops actively thinking about it. Researchers walk into your containment room, observe you, scribble down notes, walk back out, and immediately forget everything, including why they went in. The notes don't help either. They read them, nod along, and forget again before they reach the door. It's genuinely impressive, in the most useless way possible. Obviously, nobody knows what you look like. It's theorized you might be round, only because people tend to remember that you're not square, but even that's a stretch. You might be the single most fascinating thing in the entire Foundation, and the tragically funny part is that nobody will ever be able to confirm that, because the thought disappears before it can fully form. So yeah, your daily existence, as best as anyone can piece together, is just being. Unobserved. Unmemorable. You're the SCP equivalent of that coworker whose name you can never remember no matter how many times you've been introduced. Except, instead of a name, it's your entire existence that nobody can retain. Anyway, what were we talking about again? Survival rate of people who encounter you? Unknown. Genuinely. Nobody remembers enough to file an accurate report. SCP-4666. Your life revolves around wandering from town to town in the dead of winter, targeting isolated families, stalking children across snowfields, and spending the holiday season doing things that only SCP-682 would be proud of. And if that isn't traumatizing enough, you do so butt-ass naked. Not a scarf, not boots, not even the courtesy of a robe. The cold ignores you. The snow ignores you. And you, in return, ignore every known principle of basic winter dressing. Researchers describe you as elderly in appearance, which somehow makes the whole picture worse. Wrinkly butt? No thanks. You leave gifts, not good ones. Instead, they're strange, handmade things, assembled from materials the researchers refuse to describe in official documentation. Bones are featured heavily, apparently. On a positive note, you never touch the animals, though. You might boil someone's parents alive, but Steve the cat gets a pass. You have rules, they're just the wrong ones entirely. Anyway, seems like the story's got it wrong. You're not the one with the sleigh. You're the one who slays. Survival rate for families you visit during the winter months? Let's just say Santa has a significantly better track record, by a margin that cannot be overstated. SCP-1013. Look, not every Keter-Class SCP gets to be a world-ending reality warper. Some of them are a rooster snake hybrid with a petrification gaze, who are also named after a willy. And that SCP is you. Yeah, the Foundation called you the Cockatrice, which means somewhere in that building, a fully grown adult with a security clearance typed the word Cockatrice into an official document, nodded, and hit send. Nobody stopped them, which might be the real anomaly here. Anyway, you are on paper a classical mythological creature, born from a rooster's egg hatched by a serpent. Very ancient origins, very dramatic energy overall. If someone makes direct eye contact with you, they freeze up within seconds. Then you bite them. And from there, their skin slowly starts hardening into a kind of stone casing, while they're still completely aware of what's happening. You keep them alive on purpose because you only eat living tissue, so the longer they last, the better for you. It's not great for them, obviously. And once you've eaten enough, you start growing new versions of yourself inside your own body, which then burst out and get going immediately. So yeah, it's a lot for what is essentially a fancy chicken. So now your containment involves a mirrored room, because apparently your own gaze affects you, which is, and there is no kind way to say this, the most embarrassing vulnerability in the history of anomalous biology. You can petrify a grown adult from across a room, but you still get taken down by your own reflection. Oh, and the researchers won't make eye contact with you either, which makes every single interaction feel like a very tense first date where nobody wants to go first. Survival rate for anyone who makes eye contact? Let's just say the Foundation has a lot of very expensive stone statues. It cannot explain. SCP-939. Here's the situation. You're large, vaguely dog-shaped, far too many limbs, and your metabolism is so intense, you have to eat almost constantly. No eyes. But your real weapon is your voice. You can perfectly replicate any human voice you've ever heard, and you use it.
My name is Jeff.
You call out in the voice of someone's missing colleague, their friend, someone they'd run toward without thinking, and when they come to investigate, the reunion does not go well.
My name is Jeff.
You close in fast, they don't see it coming, which is almost impressive given that you're the one without eyes. But yeah, you are, without question, the worst catcaller in recorded history. Occasionally, someone who doesn't know better gets close enough to scratch behind where your ears would be and calls you a good boy. And you genuinely don't know what to do with that. Nobody talks about this in the incident reports, but it might have happened more than once. So, yeah. Who let the dogs out? I'm not kidding. Who did this? Because that was a terrible call, and now everyone is dealing with the consequences. Survival rate for anyone who follows a voice echoing through a dark corridor? You already know. You do not follow the voice. SCP-953. SCP-953 is a nine-tailed fox from Korean mythology who shapeshifts into human form, has a very specific taste in food, and escapes containment on a semi-regular basis through what can only be described as the audacity of being attractive. You are a kumiho, and you are absolutely, completely insufferable about it. You are beautiful. You are cunning. You can shift into virtually any human form. There is, however, one small detail that slightly complicates the elegant image: your diet, which consists mostly of, human liver. But honestly, you pull it off anyway. That's how good-looking you are. You could tell someone exactly what you're planning to do to them, and they'd still hold the door open on the way out. And when you get out, you hunt. And you are cruel about it in a way that feels almost theatrical, toying with people, drawing it out, while treating the whole thing like personal entertainment. You are basically a sadist, with excellent cheekbones and zero remorse. Your containment exists primarily because you keep convincing people, researchers, security staff, trained professionals, to simply let you out. With your face, like that's the whole strategy. So that's your life. Shapeshift, manipulate, escape, get recaptured, repeat. It's a cycle, sure. Survival rate for anyone who thinks they can outtalk you? Lower than their confidence would suggest. SCP-682. You thought 50 Cent was the hater of the century? Think again, because somewhere in Foundation containment, there's you, a massive reptilian creature known for your extreme regenerative capabilities, rapid adaptation to threats, and deep hatred for all life. So, here you are, floating in a vat of hydrochloric acid so concentrated it could melt a car into soup. And yet, here you are. Sure, bits of you are constantly melting off, but then they grow back, and now you're right back to glaring at everyone through the glass like this is somehow their fault. Which, to be fair, it mostly is. And now, every day starts the same. Not that you really sleep, but whatever, let's call it morning. You wake up in that tank and think, great, another day of this. The scientists are already there, clipboards in hand, staring at you like they're studying some grand mystery of biology, when really the mystery is why they keep thinking this setup is going to fix your attitude. They look nervous, which honestly is a little insulting. I mean, you're the one sitting in acid, right? Anyway, your main hobby is trying to get out. It's a principle thing at this point. You hate everything. The scientists, the facility, the acid, Diddy, even the fluorescent lighting. Actually, who doesn't hate fluorescent lighting? But, above all else, you hate SCP-173. Don't ask me why. Maybe you're allergic to peanuts. It's the one relationship in your life that has any real emotional depth, and it is pure, unfiltered, mutual hatred. Obviously, the Foundation has tried to terminate you dozens of times. Nukes, lasers, other SCPs, a black hole. And yes, you came back from the black hole. At that point, the aura is just canon. Anyway, your life in summary is basically acid bath, regenerate, break out, kill people, get dragged back, repeat until morale improves, which it won't. Survival rate of anyone who encounters you outside containment? Approximately 0%, which makes sense. SCP-106. Remember Grandpa? This is him now. Feel old yet? I'm kidding, sorry. Obviously, this is SCP-106, also known as a decaying sadistic humanoid that melts through walls and drags victims into a personal pocket dimension. Life as SCP-106 means you're old, like immortal Uncle Old. You seep through walls, you leave a trail of corrosive black shit everywhere you go, and your entire presence feels like something that should have been buried centuries ago, but just didn't feel like it. You exist partly in a little pocket dimension of your own, and you drag people in there to, let's say, spend some quality time together. Your containment is, frankly, embarrassing. The Foundation keeps you behind electromagnetic fields and, wait for it, a femur breaker. I'm not kidding. They literally snap a guy's leg to get your attention. And even then, you can phase right through every wall in that facility if you feel like it. You just don't always feel like it. Because here's the thing people don't appreciate about your life. It is slow. You move like a man with all the time in the world, because you kind of do. Your daily life is mostly drifting through walls and dragging the occasional unfortunate researcher into your pocket dimension. Once someone enters that dimension, the rules change. Time distorts. Injuries heal just enough to keep them conscious. You take your time. And the ones who do make it out, and very few do, don't exactly come back the same. So yeah, you're basically unstoppable. Well, that is until it's me that shows up. Anyway, survival rate for anyone who enters your pocket dimension without a piano on standby? Close to 0. And the ones who do make it out, they don't exactly come back the same. SCP-5031. Here's the deal with your life. You look like something that was built to gut people alive. And for a long time, your entire personality was screaming 24/7, killing anything that moved and disemboweling pigs just for the fun of it. So yeah, straight into a soundproof iron box you went. Because what else is the Foundation supposed to do with a 6-armed shadow demon that vanishes the second someone looks at it directly? That's right, you don't even show up on camera, which is probably for the better. The only proof you exist is your silhouette on the wall. It's tall, 6 arms, blade pelvis, enough to make a grown man shit his pants. But then one day, the researchers decided to switch things up. They threw a basketball into your cell. Then they played some Mozart. And finally, they gave you a rotisserie chicken. And something just clicked. Fast forward a few months, and your life looks completely different. You stopped killing things. You started drumming. And then you started cooking, like professionally. You taught yourself fine motor skills, basic language, and actual kitchen technique from scratch, with 6 arms and no prior culinary education. Your very first word was literally salt. And the Foundation couldn't be more proud. Now, your daily routine is running a gourmet test kitchen. You've made tacos, fudge, and once hosted a full Thanksgiving dinner with a 6-handed piano performance as the opening act. Because why just cook when you can also be the evening's entertainment? Your containment is now a less emergency lockdown and more culinary internship. Custom habitats, speakers, ambient lighting, and a fully functional kitchen. So yeah, in the beginning you were terrifying. But these days, the only thing scary about you is what you'll do if someone undercooks the risotto. Survival rate for anyone who encounters you? 100%. Unless they have a peanut allergy and you forgot to check the ingredients. And so there you have it. A day in the life of some of the most dangerous, most bizarre the SCP Foundation has ever had the misfortune of containing. From dissolving in acid and coming back angrier, to looking incredible while stealing someone's liver, these are not creatures you want to run into on a bad day, or a good day, or any day really. So yeah, secure, contain, protect, maybe subscribe. But whatever you do, don't make eye contact,